spending, I think, it's like.
Matheus Cunha, here we go. If you're a Manchester United fan, allegedly, Cunha, courtesy of David Ornstein, has been given permission by Wolves to undergo a Manchester United medical. What a signing he will be. Now, obviously, I'm a fan of the game first, football second, football club second, but with my Arsenal hat on, I'm hating. I'm hating because obviously rumours are one thing and I don't know what my club's doing, but I want to get involved, man. I'm seeing this one linked with that team, that one linked with that team. Where's our players, man? Cunha is making a step down and joining a team that is 17th, people. But apparently he's going to earn 200 grand a week. But away from that sourness, Wolverhampton Wanderers have given forward Cunha permission to undergo a medical at Manchester United ahead of a proposed summer transfer. Club-to-club talks between United and Wolves, where Cunha has a 62.5 million release clause, were opened on Tuesday. United have now met the conditions of Cunha's record at the Molineux and will now seek to complete the transfer of the Brazilian. Quality signing. If they get a decent striker, him, Diallo, Xerxes, there's many a problem, I feel, at Man United. Midfield depth, needing to flush players out, arguably question marks over the manager, but it's a step in the right direction. I mean, there has been a bit of isms and schisms about how the release clause is going to be paid, but maybe it's just precaution so that, you know, if United and Wolves do come to an agreement, if they haven't already, the move can accelerate. But for me, if a man's going to have a medical, I hate to refer to footballers as assets, but he is an asset to Wolves. You're not going to, I don't know how far Wolves is from Manchester, but you're not going to tell him forward up over them sides, do the medical and all the stuff that goes into that. If there wasn't a belief and an optimism from all three parties, Cunha and his team, Wolves, his current employers, and obviously what's going to be his new employers, Manchester United, simply put to get a deal done. There had been optimism that agreeing a payment structure will be a formality, with Cunha's contract outlining that a transfer fee is paid across 3 installments, a first lump sum upon the signing and a further 2 equal shares over the next 2 years, although United had sought to make the payment over 5 years rather than 2 naturally. There is hope a deal can be concluded for when the transfer window opens on the 1st of June, which isn't that Sunday. So United will probably, I don't know for the announcement video and all that kind of jazz, but by Sunday, you'd imagine United fans will have a new player to speak about and do lineups and all that stuff with. The Athletic reported on the 22nd of April, United had held positive contract talks with Cunha, with head coach Ruben Amorim and the United hierarchy aligned on bringing in the Brazilian. Cunha signed a new contract at Wolves on deadline day in February, despite interest from Arsenal, Nottingham Forest. In hindsight, it doesn't say Man United away from the obvious. Well, Man United, rather than Arsenal and Forest, maybe Arsenal and Forest, we needed an attacker and all of those kind of things. I've spoken about Cunha before. I don't think he wanted to snake Wolves without at the time confirming their safety in the Premier League. But in hindsight, United haven't been mentioned in that paragraph I just read, right? What if it was United that were trying to get him in January or the talks were starting then? I'm not saying it was, but I just feel sometimes it's a reminder that what's reported about in the tabloids and this one's going there and what actually happens are very different things. Ironically, I always give this example. Manchester United were, you know, at one point it felt like Cody Gakpo was going to be their player. I'm sure if you ask Manchester United supporting YouTubers, they did bare videos around Cody Gakpo. And then what happened? Where did he end up? So my point of saying that is to say this: what's going on in one world of football, what's going on in the tabloids and alleged world of football, and actually what's happening, whether it's players going to X club or, you know, them kind of things. Reality and illusions can be two very different things. It'd be quite crazy for Man United because when you look at it, excluding Cunha, who can play in a bunch of roles, especially out wide, they've got what? Anthony, Sancho, and Rashford. Now, I don't know if they're going to reintegrate Rashford and Sancho or Anthony. I don't know if, you know, it is what it is. I don't know if they're going to be able to flog them, but you would imagine of the three, Rashford's probably burnt his bridges at Man United. Obviously, Sancho's probably going to depart. You never know what's going on with Chelsea. Garnacho, you're seeing the spill out. He's probably gone because it seems like Amorim's probably just had enough of you. Surely they reintegrate Anthony, although if you're Betis, you want to keep him. And then obviously you throw in Cunha and whatnot, people. United have the Premier League and UEFA financial regulations to consider, but are seeking to give themselves spending power by selling loanees Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Anthony, and Malacia. On my left, I forgot Malacia was there. We all know Cunha can play as a 10. I mean, where you look at the three at the back system Amorim plays, I don't know if he's going to evolve it, yeah, but there's scope for like the creativity of what you would say a 10 of Zerxes, of Diallo's. Personally, I just want Diallo out wide or an inside forward, but Cunha and Zerxes in particular, I think them two are going to have a really good relationship. And You could argue Man United maybe could do with another fullback. El Nouri's linked with a move away. Hasn't accelerated to this degree, but you also hear Man United ironically want to sign Nelson Semedo, who is Portuguese like Amorim, and apparently and played for Wolves, is a free transfer. So we'll have to see. But yeah, man, pick up United. I think it's a good sign, and hopefully he's not too well. For Cunha, I hope you don't try Manchester United's food. Apparently, they've completely off topic been given a 2-star food rating hygiene at Old Trafford after mouse droppings found. Now, away from slagging off United and having a bit of a joke, yeah, you gotta remember, like all football clubs, you're paying God knows how much money for tickets week in, week out, season ticket, and this is what's going on. I've previously said before, yeah, I used to work at Spurs in my like 16 years of age and whatnot. A lot of people my age did, and obviously shitting on Spurs 100%. The things I saw, I didn't see no mice droppings or rats or anything, but the things I saw, I can never eat. Maybe if I'm like, not that I've been there, but if I'm in certain parts of restaurants and things and like that. But for the casual football fan, that's like, you know, going where you go at halftime and that, I couldn't eat from a football stadium again. I saw too much. But yeah, United, fix up, man. Ineos, come on, bro. Amarin on Garnacho said, you better pray that you can find a club to sign you after the Europa League final, and obviously it's full out. And to be honest with you, I actually like Garnacho. United have a million problems. This one's doing too much, and so is his brother. Whether he's going to have a great future and be a quality player, just need to get him out, man. Now, Hugo Ekitike has been linked with Liverpool, Chelsea, and obviously Arsenal. And apparently Chelsea are interested in bringing the Eintracht Frankfurt forward in as they bid to make at least one new signing before the Club World Cup begins in June, in which, if you lot want, we'll let me know. We'll do a couple watch-alongs. Endrick, I don't know if anyone's going to leave Real Madrid bar Modric at this moment in time until after the Club World Cup or until Xabi Alonso's been given the right to see who he can use. As you know, with a new manager, players that were previously one of the first names on the team sheet might be deemed surplus to requirements. I don't think they're going to let Endrick leave, but apparently Juventus have discussed the possibility of bringing him in. Simeone Inzaghi, a lot of Arsenal fans want him. You might have to forget about that because despite the fact that Inter could potentially win the Champions League this week, apparently he's given the green light to join Al Hilal on a contract worth 25 million euros a year. Can't blame him. Money for Mecca, if I'm honest with you. Keeping up the theme. Ironically, there's a lot of United stuff. And I'm off topic, people. If you lot want me to keep doing the Arsenal videos and the many different things I do there, but you know, it's transfer season, do these little videos about other clubs, please let me know and smash the like button because I want to give you lot the best quality. Al Hilal have given Bruno Fernandes 72 hours to decide whether or not he'll accept their offer. They're offering him 700,000 a week, and they've offered 100 million to Man United. I don't know if Amorim wants him to go, Bruno wants him to go. Potentially from a club perspective, obviously you have to replace Bruno as your captain and stuff. That makes a lot of sense, essentially. Now, you never know. It's a World Cup year, so if you're Bruno, are you going to be in the best condition with the greatest of respect playing in Saudi Arabia versus the European game? I don't know, people, if I'm honest with you. Now, I'm jealous of anyone that's linked with Rayan Cherki apart from my club. Rayan Cherki and Morgan Gibbs-White are prime targets for Manchester City in the number 10. I think Man City are going to win the league next year because it seems like they're linked with Reijnders, Morgan Gibbs-White, Rayan Cherki. You know, you're seeing it. Pep Guardiola's apparently got rid of some of his coaching staff. He wants new voices in, brought in a couple of people in January. You know, they're going to bring some other players in. There's a number of players, you know, the Kyle Walkers, the Grealishes, Kevin De Bruyne. Some are leaving and confirmed they're leaving, or futures will be subject to speculation. I think City are going to wreak havoc. I would love Morgan Gibbs-White at Arsenal. I love Rayan Cherki. I'm jealous still. I'm jealous. It's a bit sad how Fatty's career is kind of worked out at this moment in time. In an ideal world, you're shining and so is Yalmao if you're a Barcelona fan. Apparently, Monaco have reached an agreement in principle with Barcelona to sign him. Apparently, he chose Monaco over Chelsea. Now, he's a good player, but Chelsea still playing real life football manager. Obviously, he's a quality player. He might be a market opportunity, but really, considering the fact that he just needs games and healthy, really, why are you going to get him? Man City are ramping up their pursuit of Rangers, people of AC Milan. He could command a fee of 55 million. Obviously, I would want the player. I want everyone. You can hear it in it. I want everybody. But if not him, see the profile centre midfielder that he is. I think Arsenal are missing that, man. I'd love to have, you know, Zubimendi in the mix, Partey in the mix, the luxury of Rice in the 6. I'm happy with Rice in the 8. I would like this experiment with Rice, not even experiment, but this thing that we're doing with Rice in the 8 to continue. But this kind of profile is what I typically would say is an 8. So if you could have 2 of them, it'd be great. If you can't get him, can we get someone of that skill set? A bunch of clubs, including mine, have been linked with João Pedro. Apparently, Newcastle have a serious interest in João Pedro. The club have a 250 million transfer war chest. Now, a bit like Arsenal, I think Newcastle need to worry about depth because I feel like us, bench is a bit weak, etc. They're going to keep their players. Kamara's not going anywhere. In fact, what do I know? Kamara's not going nowhere. Isak not going anywhere. Gordon not going anywhere. And they're linked with some good players, man. You add an Embuemo, who I want at Arsenal Football Club. I know I want everyone. A João Pedro, an Embuemo, these kind of players. Even a Cunha at Newcastle would have worked a trick. They're laughing. Once they get some more players of quality into their starting 11 and some more depth, to be honest, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe 5 is a bit quick. Stranger things have happened. Newcastle will probably win the Premier League, in my opinion. Again, 3 installments will be the case where Cunha is concerned. I would not turn down Sane, but I don't necessarily want him. But it's nothing to do with me. He could be moving to North London and a team that's won a bit silverware this year. In fact, so have we. The ladies did. Spurs have been offered the possibility to sign Sane, who will become a free agent this summer. They'll have to see. Apparently, Spurs have become a more attractive proposition after qualifying for the Champions League. That's good. And of course, I'm a bit of a hater, but they still finished 17th. They got in on the blind. They earned that right. Are they I'd imagine going into next season, like Arsenal, the minimum is winning trophies and getting Champions League football. It obviously could entice. It probably does change the budget that they have to play with, the flexibility, maybe retaining certain players like Romero, maybe bringing in certain players. You get the point. I have spoken about Pep's reshuffling with the coaching staff. Arsenal apparently are in the race for Julian Alvarez. I'm not going to lie, I don't believe that. The man just left the Premier League. In terms of a lifestyle point of view, you'd imagine his life in Spain is more adjacent to what it would have been in Argentina than England or Manchester in terms of the weather. You've just moved. Do you want to uproot back? Of course, if he's on it, I think we should have went for him when he was at City last season. I got a lot of time for him. I don't believe it. Unless there's some crazy thing where Atletico have to sell players or he's had a bust up and he needs to leave. Great. I don't believe it. And why would you want to get rid of a player that's done very well, people, with 29 goals in 54 appearances? But we all really know why this guy's been linked with us. It's easy. Any player, like with Cunha maybe as well, any player that's been at Atletico Madrid in the last 10 to 12 years when Berta was there, it's easy to make those links up, people. So I don't really believe that. But for my Arsenal fans, yeah, we're linked with him. We're still linked with Gyökeres. I covered the Gyökeres stuff in a previous vid. We know a new striker or maybe even potentially strikers should be on the radar. But I'm not going to waste your time with any of that.